up in Minneapolis, Zach Parise played just about every sport there was. And even though his father, JP, logged 17 seasons in the NHL, he wanted Zach trying a variety of sports throughout his childhood. There was lots of baseball, golf, tennis, and soccer played, and of course, some hockey too in those bone-chilling Minnesota winters. All of those sports experiences helped mold him into a well-rounded, versatile athlete who is in the middle of his 10th NHL season as a high-scoring, hard-working, and very much admired left winger for the Minnesota Wild.
I think it just makes you become a better athlete. You see a lot now. You see a lot of kids that are in year-round hockey, and you always run that risk of getting burnt out. The way we were raised, my dad wanted us to play everything, and whatever we liked, stick with that. But I think that he believed also that playing, another sport, playing baseball or playing tennis, helped with hockey as well. Helps with your footwork, helps with your hand-eye coordination. It's about becoming a better athlete, and I think in the long run that helped me in hockey.
But in the Parise household, skill development took a backseat to much more important pursuits, like being a quality person and a good teammate and someone never looking for shortcuts.
I mean, two things that he always was really big on was being a good teammate. That's the one thing that he was always kind of harping on us about, is being a good guy and being a good teammate and having your teammates like you. And also the way, I guess, he kind of solidified his career was through hard work. He'll be the first to tell you that he wasn't the most skilled guy. He had to work on his game every day just to stay even with everybody else. And he says that's why he played in the league for such a long time. And that's something that I think that I really acquired from him. It's about setting examples. As a parent, or I guess, looking to my parents, everyone wants to be like their parents, and I think you really take on their personality, and you take on the way you were raised. And for me, again, going back to about being a good person and having that work ethic, and that's kind of, I guess, the type of leadership that I've kind of taken on, is more of a lead by example type of player, and that's what's worked for me. It's it's different for everybody, but that's just worked for me. You have to make it fun. I think that's the most important thing, and when you want to see, everyone wants to see results right away, but I think it's you have to have fun doing it. You can't dread going to the rink. You can't dread playing or going to practice or playing a game. I think when it's fun, to me, I guess for me at least, it just kind of came natural, and then you get that competitiveness where you want to be better than the guy next to you, and then all of a sudden you start working a little harder, and it just kind of develops from there. I know what it's like being on the other side, and I want to do the right things and play the right way, and the best compliment that I've gotten is a parent just coming up to me and saying, hey, when we go to the Wild games, we tell our kids to watch you play and watch the way you play the game, and I tell them, this is the way you got to play, and for me, like, that's the ultimate compliment.
Zach Parise scored one of the most famous goals in Olympic history. In the U.S.'s epic clash with Canada in the gold medal game at the 2010 Olympics, Parise scored with 24 seconds left in regulation, enabling the U.S. to force overtime in a game for the ages. Now, Parise isn't the biggest guy on the ice, but greatness is not gauged with a tape measure, and heart and character aren't defined by numbers. And as you navigate your season with your young athlete or guide a team as a coach, remember that kids don't need pressure, and they certainly don't need you dwelling on mistakes they made. Zach Parise wasn't pressured as a child and was allowed to enjoy participating. And as you clearly see, he turned out just fine.
Don't put pressure on them. Let them, again, it always seems, going back to when you're young, just let them have fun. Let them, they're kids, and it's, the young kids, just let them enjoy the game. That's how they're going to develop. And my dad would always not talk about hockey on the way back from practice or a game. And you know, he didn't think it would be a good idea if I made a mistake for him to come and tell me I made a mistake. I mean, it's a learning. He'd ask if we had fun, and that was it. That's where the conversation ended. And to me, that was great. There was never any pressure coming from them.